viewers, today we are starting a new topic on sequences and series. So we're going to start by looking at the arithmetic sequence. Now when we talk about the arithmetic sequence, is also called the arithmetic progression. Now when we're dealing with the arithmetic sequence, the difference between the two consecutive terms of arithmetic sequence is always a constant, and this constant is called the common difference. Now to get this common difference, you subtract the second term, the first term from the second term, or the second term from the third term, and that number should always be the same, so it has to be a constant. Now when you're looking at the formula for getting the nth term of arithmetic sequence, you use this formula: a plus n minus a plus into n minus 1 times d. Now where a is the first term of our arithmetic sequence and d is a common difference between the consecutive terms of in that sequence. Now you're going to look at examples. So the first example, the nth term of an AP, that is arithmetic sequence, because it's also called arithmetic progression, is 55 minus 2n. So the first example, the first question, part A of the question is write down the first 5 terms of the sequence. So if you want to look at the first 5 terms of the sequence, you're going to start with the first term. The first term, this one is going to be 55 minus 2 into, now so the first term in this case, n, is going to be, so the nth term of this arithmetic sequence is 55 minus 2 into bracket n. Now when we want to look at the first term, when u is 1, when n is 1, so this one is going to be 55 minus 2 into bracket 1. Our n is 1, so this one is 53. So the second term, when n is 2, so it's going to be 55 minus 2 into n is 2. So this one, the answer is 51. Yes, 51. When n is 3, so it's going to be 55 minus 2 into 3. That is 49. 55 minus 6. When n is 4, it's going to be 55 minus 2 into 4. So 55 minus 8 is going to be 40 what? 47. And then last but not the least, when n is 5, the fifth term, so it's going to be 55 minus 2 into 5. So the answer is going to be 45. So that's the first example. When you want to find the 5 terms of the sequence, given that the nth term of that sequence is 55 minus 2n. So that's the first example. Now with this topic, there are different, we have to look at very many examples so to be able to know how you're supposed to look at some of the questions. They could be different. So this is the first part, the first example that I'm going to look at. So let us look at part B of the same question. Part B is a little bit easier. It's specific. Find the 99th term in the sequence. So the nth term is 55 minus 2n. So 99th term is going to be 55 minus 2 into bracket 99. So this one is going to be 55 minus 198, and you subtract 55 minus 198. So the 99th term is a negative number, so it's negative 143. That's the answer. So let us look at part C of the question. Part C of the question. Find the first term in the sequence that is negative. Okay, so now this question is a little bit tricky. It doesn't mean that now they're looking for the first term. Of course, we already have the first term, it was 53, but now here they're specific on finding the first term in the sequence that is going to be the negative. So this means that, so that term has to be less than 0. That term has to be less than 0. So this is going to be 55 minus 2n is less than 0. Then this will be negative 2n is less than, we bring 55, this is going to be negative. Then divide both sides by negative 2 and negative 2. Now always when you're using inequality, when you divide an inequality by a negative number, then that sign has to change. So this is going to be 8 is greater than 55 divided by 2, 27.5. So in this case now our n has to be greater than 27.5, so our nth term, our n is going to be 28. So it means that now if our n is 28, which is, the question was find the first term in the sequence that is going to be a negative. Now finding our n is 28, now we are going to substitute in the sequence. So this is going to be 55 minus 2 into 28. This is 55 minus 56. So the first term that is going to be negative is negative 1. The first term that is going to be negative is negative 1. And that's how you work out that part C of the question. Now this is the first example that I was looking at. Now I want to look at the second example, so that I want us to look at very many examples so that you are able to see how you can be able to solve questions that deals with arithmetic sequence. So example 2, let us look at the second example. Second example on this part of arithmetic sequence. Okay, they want us to find the nth term of each of the arithmetic sequences. So this is the first sequence. Now we know that the nth term equals to a plus n minus 1 into d. Now our first term, we said a is the first term. Our first term is 6. Now we want to find d, the common difference. To get the common difference, you get the difference between the second term, the first term and the second term, or the difference between the second term and the third term. So in this case, our d is going to be 20 minus 6, which is 14. Our common difference is going to be 14. So the nth term of our arithmetic sequence is going to be, we substitute in this formula. So it's going to be 6 plus, we don't have n, so n minus 1 into, common difference is 14. So this 14, you can place it in front of the bracket, no problem. So this is going to be, we open the bracket, 6 plus 14n minus 14. Collect the like terms, 6 minus 14. So this is going to be negative 8 plus 14n. So our nth term is 14n minus 8. So that's how you find the nth term for this arithmetic sequence. Let us look at another part B of the question. So we have the sequence 101, 94, 87, 80, and then 73. So the same is applicable. First of all, we find A. The first term is 101, and then our common difference is the difference between the second term and the first term. So it's going to be 94 minus 101, so the answer is negative 7. So our common difference is a negative number, so don't ignore the negative. Now, so to find the nth term of this sequence, it's going to be a plus n minus 1 into d. Our a is 101 plus, don't have n, so we just leave it like that, then -7. So this one you can just put it in front, so it's 101 minus 7 into n minus 1. This one is the same. Then you open the bracket, 101 minus 7n plus 7. When you multiply negative number by negative number, the result is going to be positive. Okay, and then we add this to this, is going to be 108 minus 7n. So that's how you approach that question if they were to ask. Now this is the second example. Now I'm going to look at the last example, that is example 3, so that you're able to know how to solve any question that deals with the arithmetic sequence. So let us look at the third and the final example. Now this one is a little bit direct. A sequence is generated by the formula. The nth term is an plus b, where a and b are constants to be found. So in this case, they want us to find the values of a and b. Now we have been given the third term of the sequence is what? 5, and the 8th term is? Now if the third term is 5, so we are just going to use this. The nth term is an plus b. So to get the third term, so we are going to substitute, where there is n is going to be 3. So this is 3a plus b. That is the third term. But then the value of the third term is what? Is 5. Then the 8th term is going to be, where there is n we put 8. So 8a plus b equals to, the 8th term is 20. Now so for us to find the values of a and b, now these are two simultaneous equations. You can be able to solve them using any of the methods of solving simultaneous equations. You can either use the elimination method or substitution method. So I'm going to use the elimination method and eliminate b. So this is going to be 3a minus 8a is going to be negative 5a. b minus b, that is 0, equals to 5 minus 20. That is negative 15. Then divide both sides by negative 5 by negative 5. So the value of a is 3. Now after finding the value of a, we substitute in any of the equation to find the value of b. So we're going to use the first one or this second equation. This is the first equation, this is the second equation. So I'm going to use the first equation to get the value of b. So this will be 3 into 3 plus b equals to 5. That's 9 plus b equals to 5. The value of b equals to negative 4. So in this case, a is 3 and b equals to negative 4. So those are some of the questions that can be asked when you're dealing with the arithmetic sequence. And that's all on arithmetic sequence. Thank you.